Adam's question was, is it true the Commandant was replaced by Don Callis, a.k.a. Jocko, was WWF needed a manager who could take bumps, and the Commandant was more of an actor?
Yes.
Capo, that's yours.
Bret Hart went to South Africa and did a Sinbad episode and met Robin Smith there and talked they talked this thing Bret brought it back to Vince. Of course Vince loved it. It was three big guys in a military faction. Vince loved it. So he brought it. But Robin had no idea about anything about wrestling. He was an actor over in South Africa, a pretty successful one, and a voiceover guy. He did a lot of stuff over there. And we went down to Memphis, and I thought he did a great job. I mean, he fit the part because he was actually in the South African military. So I guess they wanted somebody that could bump more. And it's a funny story. They brought Don Callis in, and Luke and Kurgan, of course, were from Canada, so they already knew of him. I didn't. And we did a house show, and he had a match. We had a six-man match later on in the show, but he had a singles match at the very beginning of the show and went out and just pulled a five-star match out, and he walked back through the curtain. I remember telling him, I said, "Damn, why aren't we managing you?" I had no idea. He was a great worker, and great on the stick. And we took it in a different direction because he didn't fit the military. We all fit the military mold. We all had short haircuts. We kind of had the look. He came in with the long hair, and through just a stroke of his own genius, he took a chance and wore the leather jacket out there one night, and Vince saw it and said, "Yep, we're going in a different direction." And we went down the whole David Koresh kind of thing. I was telling Eric the other day, when we were in Waco, there was actually talk about taking us out to the Branch Davidian Ranch.
Oh my God, you cutting a promo there?
Shooting a promo.
Oh, that's heat.
Wow. You'd have to ask Don, because he was more in on that end of it than we were. But somebody at USA or somebody in the office shut it down, just because it was still kind of.
Oh God, Koresh was. I mean, the '90s, mid '90s, late '90s. It was a big name, absolutely.
So it's still fresh in people's minds, but at that time, man, I thought it would have been great.
That's the old school wrestling. You'd be like, oh yeah, because that would never fly now. But that's that line there to where are we crossing it with everything that happened to Koresh and the Branch Davidians, or are we just?
But at that time, we were right there on that line, and we were just stomping the hell out of it.
Yeah.
We were trying everything we could do to get ratings.
That goes to show you, by the way, how much heat there could have been that someone was like, oh no, that's too far.
That's too much. It may have been.